All right. Good afternoon, everyone. So hopefully, officially, this should be live on Instagram. I apologize for the hiccups earlier with the technical difficulties. I'm happy to have be live now with Diann Marshall, who plays Aunty Sybil and DOUEN, and we're gonna get it right this time. And just to make sure, because Diann is deserving of having the spotlight on her, and I'm so grateful to have her here. So welcome, Diann. Please tell everyone a little bit about yourself and the role that you play in DOUEN.
Thank you, and good afternoon to everyone who is tuned in. I'm glad that you tuned in because DOUEN is a phenomenal piece of work directed by Alyscia. I am Diann Marshall, also go by the name of Flambe in the entertainment world. I played Sybil in DOUEN. As Aunty Sybil in DOUEN, I have gotten a chance to revisit my culture and revisit the past when this story was told to me. So I was all excited, and the fact that we had this young, ambitious director who picked it up even inspired me more to be involved in DOUEN. So Aunty Sybil is the elder character who have been around the street for years because she was someone who was always aggressive, but friendly, could hold her end. But Aunt Sybil always liked to educate people who think they know about life. And that's what she did to her niece. And also she tried to show some to her sister. And Sybil, the role to me was fun. I could have related to it because it reminded me of relatives who I had in the past. And I took it and I ran with it because Alyscia encouraged me.
And you did it so beautifully. And with that, I've said this before, but we could not do the live stream before, it wasn't working. But before we jump in, I want to publicly thank you, Diann. And after I made the original DOUEN back in 2021, I did it with the Women of Color Filmmakers Film Lab. And Diann looked at me at the end of it and she said, Alyscia, don't stop here. And I carried those words with me. And here we are today with the feature film. Thanks to Diann's inspiration and for encouragement and for her pushing me. So thank you for believing in this story before it became what it is today, but also just for all the work that you do within the Caribbean community as an actress, as a performer. Diann is a phenomenal performer. You see her face in a lot of the Caribbean events. She's so creative. She makes her own costumes and is just a vibrant spirit. So I appreciate you being here with us and for sharing your words of wisdom always for me and my family. And so because you've been a part of DOUEN and the journey since the beginning, you played the grandmother initially in DOUEN 1. So those to go back, DOUEN, it wasn't called DOUEN 1, actually just called DOUEN. And because I didn't know this was going to go as far as it did. DOUEN 2 was the proof of concept for the actual feature film. But Diann returned, you returned as Sybil now in the feature film. So what was that like for you watching the project evolved from where it was in 2021 to now where it is today?
Well, I must congratulate you on your aggressive ambition because you have turned DOUEN into, in other words, you have impregnated DOUEN with so many different extensions, that people could really relate. Even if they come and they get scared, they will not get scared alone. They will get informed. They will get wisdom into how a certain culture operate, because you took it and you added hands and feet. You put other characters in and you made it a life living story, not just for the Moko-Jambi, but for the people who lived in the environment of the Moko-Jambi, And me being the grandma initially, I could relate to that role because since the grandparents told me, or the elders told me, I tend to put myself in their shoe and act like them.
Right.
But then, when I got the other role as Sybil, I had to move from being old to being mature,
Mhm.
meaning I have passed through the flirtatious times and all of that. So now it's time for me to just relax and look at the young people go through their emotion. So from being a grandmother to what I say promoted to a great aunt was really eye-opening to me, because I get to realize also that the younger people who have not have experienced what the older elders went through, they take it in a total different perspective. You know, they think it is a madness,
Right.
when they do not realize it's an insight.
Yes. Well said.
DOUEN have a lot of cover state. You just have to slowly unpeel it, and you get the fabric of a certain environment, a certain culture, a certain people. You know, so when you have visited DOUEN, you will get a different perspective of the Caribbean people, or some of the Caribbean people, or the mentality of some of the Caribbean people in that time. But strange enough, today, the younger ones are looking back and want to find out why certain things occur. But they don't have their great-great-grandparent or great-grandparent to really enlighten them about what the belief was in that time and how it is the same as now. So DOUEN have a lot of leaves and cover state. All you have to do is slowly unfold it, and you will get to realize it relates to everyday life. It relates to everyday life, even though it might sound or seem superstitious or sort of, out of the way. Yeah. Because guess what? Once you think it, it exists.
That's right. You create it.
Because you cannot think something that does not exist.
Right.
You cannot think something that does not exist.
Yes. And so then, all right. So tell us a little bit about Aunty Sybil. Who is she, and what drew you to Aunty Sybil's character?
Okay. Aunty Sybil is the sister of my niece, of course, and having a little problem here. And Aunty Sybil, she's a very grounded person. And like I said, she's been through the ropes already. So she know when to hold and when to fold. Aunty Sybil was a staple in the family that I presume, in my character, I presume my deceased parent had problems with me because I seemed to be aggressive, Aunty Sybil, because she never took any junk from anyone. She always stand up for herself, Aunty Sybil. You know, she always wanted to show someone how she made it through life.
Right.
But Aunty Sybil has reached to the stage now where she want to pass on wisdom. You know what I mean? She want to correct the younger ones from making the little errors that she probably made or probably got away from. So Aunty Sybil is also a staple in the Caribbean family.
Yes.
We always depend on that auntie to straighten us out, or who have been around the block, so we don't get into the same bind that she probably or others got into. That was Aunty Sybil, you know, but she has reached to the age where she's matured and she understands.
Wonderfully said.
So I enjoy Aunty Sybil. I enjoy Aunty Sybil anyhow. I enjoy Aunty Sybil.
Yeah, sorry to want to talk over you, but for those who don't know, I had an actual Auntie Sybil who she has passed since. There's a story behind that story, but um, there's a lot of the character that Diann took on as Auntie Sybil that reminded me of Auntie Sybil as well. There's elements of her. There's actually elements of my family, the story within this story, and I think that other people also connect to some of those stories. Even if it might be different, but there's some elements in it that I think people can connect with, which is we couldn't go on live at that time, but just the conversational piece element within the film itself. So that's well said. And as somebody who is originally from Trinidad and Tobago, what does it mean for you to be a part of a film inspired by our folklore and culture?
Well, I've been in acting since I was about 7, 8. My culture means, or the culture of the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago means a lot to me because I was always involved. And I always, from growing up, always hang around the elderly. I really don't like young people. I like the older ones because I learn a lot from them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and they tend to recognize and acknowledge when you're going good, and give you kudos for it. So I'm always around the elderly. I always help the elderly. I like nursing, so I will be around the elderly. The elderly, if you stick around them, you learn. Sometimes they speak in parables. You don't understand what they're saying, but as you get older, you get to realize, oh, that is what she meant.
Yes.
That is what she meant.
Yeah.
Like for instance, I will tell you, let's say like what? How you cook don't taste good. You must know what that means. It's simple. If you hurry to cook the food, you don't expect it to cook good unless you plan it, sort it out, and know and see it by step, or they say, greedy dog will choke, meaning if the dog try to eat all the food fast, he will choke because he's going down too fast. So, all these different sayings, parables, and all these things that the elderly use because probably they didn't know how to say it so you could understand, or they hold back because they figure they're giving you too much information and you wouldn't understand it. You're too young. So sometimes they do that. But if you go back and listen or recollect what your parents said at certain times, when you do certain action, you will see how it relates.
Yes. The message is within the message.
The message is within the message.
All right. Yes. Yes. And that is so true because there's a lot of sayings I heard growing up. So I was born in the States, so I'm a first generation American, but I feel like there's a huge part of me as well as other children that were first generation that still related to themselves as being a part of that culture and not necessarily. Even you got the element because you're here, you were born here as a first generation, but it was still that. It was a different. How can I explain this? Because growing up in the household, although we're in America, the household was still Trinidad and Tobago. So there was a huge part of me that still felt that was still Trini, and although I was born here, there's things that I could not do, certain ways that I had to respond to things, my mannerisms, characteristics, which I appreciate, and a lot of those the sayings or the quotes that they would use, which was really kind of like warnings as well, or that I heard that I appreciate, and I thought as younger, I was like, oh, here we go again. But as I gotten older, have learned to appreciate that, and now I'm finding myself repeating that with my children, which is appreciated. Yeah.
Well, and then the other thing is about that is, when you're born in a certain space and place, you have a different energy and temperament because of the culture, because of the environment, because of so many different factors.
Right.
But you have to remember, when you leave, I am relating to me and one or two of my family members from the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago.
Mm-hmm.
When you leave Trinidad and you can't go into a different environment, you just don't drop all of your upbringing on the plane or when you land in another space. It is inculcated in you that certain type of energy. Because, you know, when you walk, you can look at a Jamaican, how a Jamaican walk, who walks different to Trinidadian, who walks different to Grenadian. And it is not the walk. It is the energy that they inculcate in their environment, in their culture, that cause them to move with a certain rhythm and energy. Now, I'm not saying everyone from a certain country will do that, but I'm saying, I do not know if you ever took time out to look and say, see someone walk and say, that is a Trini walking day.
All the time.
Or you can see a Jamaican walking and say, boy, that's a J boy. Look at him, look how he walking. You understand?
Yes.
So you tell, and then if you go within the country itself, you can tell the division again. He's from up north, boy. Look how he's a south man.
Yes.
He living in central. You know what I mean? It's the attitude. Yeah, the attitude and the rhythm that you take with you. You know, it's really important for us to look back. They said you mustn't look back, but in order for you to go forward or be propelled forward, you got to take a sneak peek. You got to do a goodie look back now and then. You got to look back and remind yourself why you're going forward or why you want to go forward and why you don't want to stay stagnated or go back. You know, so I mean, culture is one thing, and in theater, in dance, in music is culture. You know, you know, when we tell stories, not just the content of the story, but the mannerism, the tone, all of that in which you tell the story brings out the story. It brings out the environment where the story came from. It brings out the tone where the story came from. It brings out the color and the attitude, all of that. You know, so with DOUEN, I like the fact that you took DOUEN and you extended it. You don't keep it in a confined space. You take it out of the village where the old man lived and took it to the life of a young person, the life of those who have passed, the life of those who have matured. You know, so I mean, if you really come to look at DOUEN, you have to look at DOUEN with virgin eyes so you can see all the different parts of DOUEN, not just the horror, not just the excitement, not just the fun, but look at the content and the purpose of how the Mukujambi came to be. Look at the purpose why the auntie is present. Look at the purpose why a younger one. And look at the purpose why the village is included.
Yes.
So DOUEN is a whole...
Well said.
It's a whole world within itself.
It is a world
within itself.
Yes.
You know, and that is why you can take it and run with it in different tangents, different directions.
Right. And that's the beauty of being a creator, as you know, that you can take a story and you can take multiple stories or multiple pieces within a story and create your own world. Really. Yeah.
Yes.
So now, without any spoilers, without giving away the story, what was your favorite moment in the production of DOUEN? No spoilers.
Telling the story. Telling the story was the most important part because I had to get into that point and space in order to feel the transition of being an aunt and being a visionary. You know, if you want to call a visionary.
Yes.
You know, so And I like that role because I like looking into the future and looking back at the past. I like to play with the unknown, so that I can fool myself on that I know, when I know I only know just a little of the whole piece.
Right.
So I really enjoyed focusing on the storyline, because focusing on the storyline gives you the energy to move for movement, so that you can move from a different space or a different type within the same space. That's what I like about it, the storyline, that you could take you from a tranquil situation, take you to another level and crescendo, and then fall down into tranquility.
Very
So
nice.
I like the rise and the fall of the storyline. You know what I mean? And in the end, you could breathe. You could exhale.
That's nice. I feel like it would take people on that kind of way. What would you say that? I guess like a roller coaster ride as well, with the emotions. Emotionally, it would.
Yes. And the tone, emotion, tone, um, 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 emotion, tone, timing. Timing, because the thing about storytelling is breathing and getting into the space that will transpire or give you what you're looking for. Breathing, timing, space. It gives you that which you can really captivate the audience attention. You have to capture the audience. You got to lock them in. You got to let them see, you know what I mean, what you're seeing.
Right.
If you can do that, at least to one person who is looking at the movie, if you could pull them into your space and let them feel what you're feeling and see what you're seeing, oh, you did a good job.
Yes.
That's what you have to do.
And on that note, with pulling the audience in, one of my favorite moments, I spoke with Kike when we had the live last week about it, last week Friday. One of my favorite moments on set with DOUEN is, and I wish I would have had my phone to record it, but I was at the monitor watching the scene. I won't give away what the scene was, but Aunty Sybil was telling a story. And when I left the monitor to go into the kitchen to call cut, the crew was on my right hand side in the kitchen, on the right side of the kitchen, and everybody was clapping, and they were so excited because everybody was engaged in that story. And Diann and Kike together, the entire cast was phenomenal. The two of Diann and Kike, because they were the lead characters in the film, just did such a phenomenal job of I'm not even sure what you call this, like role playing off each other, the energy, the momentum, the vibration, and the appeal and the story that you told. Like, that was one of my favorite moments, coming to the kitchen. And now I'm looking at the post-production, because right now we're in post-production, everyone, which is why that donate to DOUEN is there, because your proceeds, it's tax deductible through Women in Film and Video, which is the fiscal sponsor, but it'll be a huge help to have your support. And that moment was, and I'm looking at the editing, the edit version of it. I'm just so excited for everybody to see what this film looks like. And I love that moment with the two of you at the table and that storytelling moment. So now with that, we have a screening on November 1st. I cannot make the link public as yet, but it will be this community screening. What do you hope for audiences to take away beyond the scares of DOUEN? And then also, why do you think people should come out and support the screening on November 1st?
You should come out and see DOUEN for a lot of reasons. Of course, I don't have the time to give all the reasons, but one of the major reasons is promoting your kind. Promoting your kind who trying to represent or to recreate information for you that you had not known before. Alyscia has revamped, in my mind, or she has revamped the idea of superstition, culture of the Caribbean, and even in some other parts of the world. But she has stimulated the fact that even though you look at DOUEN, you're going to have to think, is that really happening now? Did it really happen?
Mm.
And could it still happen? And how am I going to be affected by the thought of DOUEN, that movie?
Right.
Should I ever, every time I walk out or in the night, think about Amoko Jambi is around or somewhere at DOUEN or something, a Supia, when I sleep, depending on where I sleep? Because as soon as you know it's related to the countryside and bush, forest, you might get a horror. But again, it's all in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Again. But what we need to take away from DOUEN is the fact that we could expose a mentality and a thought of a Caribbean people and the past, what they believed in, what they stand by, what they get their I shouldn't say powers, but where they get their guidance. Because in every culture, you know, we always believe, or people tend to believe, that the ancestors, the spirit of the ancestors, have information that they pass on in some form or fashion.
Right.
But in spite of that, other than DOUEN, it is an entertaining film. But we need you, the public, all those who view, all those who believe, all those who want to know about the culture, about DOUEN, about how we live as human beings, what we perceive and how we think when we perceive it. But without support from you all, funds from you all, if it's not funds, support, physical support,
Mm-hmm.
all that is needed in order for DOUEN to go. We are young Black people, talented young Black people who want to accelerate. But we can't do it if we don't have, and we have to ask.
Right.
We have to ask, especially those who believe and who know of culture, who know of ancestors, who know, and who believe and who don't believe, who are entertained.
Right.
You know, the film industry is a difficult environment, high financial environment, and we are young and now trying to go forward, especially with our culture and what we think and what we believe and our ancestors taught us. That's why we come out the way we are.
Right.
From guidance of the past and you know, those who went before us. So all we're trying to do now is to try and raise funds so that we could take this movie where it belongs, to everyone.
Yes.
We need to take it so that every culture get a glimpse of another culture. And they themselves could grow off of it. They could segue off of it, because in America they have Dracula. In
Right.
Trinidad we have Supia.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in other places, Venezuela and Latin America and France and all of that, they all have their superstitions, but they're all related, because remember, the root of the human being is the root of the human being. It can't be the branches. All of us can't be roots.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, give us support. Give Alyscia the support, moral support, financial support, you know, material support.
Yes.
Putting on a movie really costs a lot, and it takes a lot. As I say, it takes a village, and that is what we are putting in DOUEN, showing a village.
Right.
Showing a village, all the different parts that make up a village, all the madness that happen in a village, all the good things that happen in a village, and all the love that is encompassed in a village, no matter superstitious, scared, or otherwise.
Yes.
I think we're all experiencing the same thing all over the world in a different way. But again, DOUEN is here. DOUEN is not going anywhere because we depend on you all to keep DOUEN alive.
Yes.
So please support DOUEN. Come out and see DOUEN. You know, the link will be on, and the dates where it is viewing and all of that stuff. Our director is going to put it up publicly so that you all can, can view it.
That will be on soon. Thank you so much for the plug, Diann. I actually shared the poster as you were there. I haven't shared it publicly as yet, but I am posting it. I'm sharing it on here on the stage so people can see. The link will be available probably by next week to purchase tickets. And I want to say thank you to Diann for your energy and your spirit, for being the encouragement behind the story, the feature script. And I see that Kimye, who I thank you for your patience, for everybody who joined previously. We had technical difficulties. I was able to get on StreamYard, and Kimye is not only a phenomenal casting director. Kimye was phenomenal, but then she also came on board because we could not get Sequoia, the person who was playing Sequoia. There was some complications, and Kimye was like, "I'll do it," So there was a 2-part role. She's in the comments right now. She shared that we'll be doing this every Friday, and you can join us at 12 p.m. Today was a little late because of technical difficulties, but thank you for rejoining us. If there's any questions, you can put it in the comment section. I don't have as much. I'm not able to do like the comments on like when I'm joining as if we were on Instagram. So I'm not able to like things or post little emojis and things like that. So thank you for your patience with us, and thank you, Diann, again for your presence and for joining us live and always having some words of wisdom. And I'm looking forward to everybody being here at the premiere on November 1st. Those who were supposed to be there will be there, and to celebrate what we've done together as cast and crew. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Diann.
Thank you, Alyscia, and thank you, everyone. Please support us. Yeah. We are asking you with love to support us. We're not begging because we know you all don't like begging, and we don't beg either.
Right.
So support us because you'll be supporting yourself. Mm-hmm. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Hopefully this can post. We'll see how it goes.
Yes, it will.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, thank you, Diann. Thank you so much. I'll let you know.
Thank you very much, too.
In live stream.